Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs and cats, children of all ages, what is going on? This is the Club of the Man 1993 coming at you. And of course, it is Thursday night. So why do you do on Thursday nights anymore? Well, again, since I have a great audience here on YouTube who always, supports me, I like to do these special live streams once a week just to sit down, relax, have some fun, talk with some friends, and just enjoy my night pretty much after a crazy week it's been, and just have a blast on Fridays, pretty much, do whatever I want. But getting way, way, way out of line. So, welcome again to one of my other special live streams. As always, please make sure to follow along in the live chat and leave your thoughts in the comment section. Also, if you're catching this afterwards, if you want to participate in this special live stream of the current topic. Now, usually I do like a top 10, top 15, top 20, this is top something. I top 10, like a number. So for this one, which shout out to my friend Lauren Hutton, I believe also Dakota Virus and Hassan may have played a part in suggesting this topic in some ways, because I was told to do a video on top 10 Money in the Bank cash-ins. So I was, putting the video together, and at first I was going to do that top 10 cash-ins. Unfortunately, I can only think of like 7 or 8, I think it was, of like ones that actually would say, yes, this be in the top 10. Not saying like the others are all bad, but there's some of them that it's like they didn't feel like they were great, but they weren't bad either. They were just like, all right, like, whatever, in my opinion. So I first maybe want to do, I then thought maybe I'll do top 5 cash-ins, top 5 worst cash-ins also. And then I was just like, still seems a little off or something. So that's why I decided just to twist the idea just a little bit. So I'm going to discuss all 19 cash-ins so far in WWE history of Money in the Bank, where they were failed or they were successful. 16 of 19 cash-ins so far, both male and female, have been successful. And so we're going to talk about all of them, ranking them starting at the bottom and working our way up to the top for the best and worst cash-ins. So again, that's what we're going to do, talk about all 19 cash-ins and see what you think. Feel free to also, leave your opinions on what you think the best are if you rank them from 1 to 19 as well. So let's get started here. Live chat, what is going on? Mike, what about Shawn Michaels in his prime facing Dolph Ziggler? Would be a good match, definitely, I'd say. I saw your rant, hilarious. Thanks, man. I didn't think it was that funny, but I wasn't a little more entertaining than it was. Of course, I was sitting in my car doing that in the mall parking lot because I kept getting interrupted when I was trying to record it from home because my dad got home early from work and everybody kept trying to call me. So I was, what, I'm going to the mall to chill before I went in. I just, stayed in my car and recorded. But of course, I had the car off and I didn't have my windows open. It was as hot as balls in there. So that's why I just cut it when I did. But yeah, I got my pants stuck to the back of my seat. But so yeah, welcome Dakota. Thank you for joining me live. So let's see how this goes. Or Jeff Hardy versus Ultimate Warrior if he was alive. That would be a good match also. And it was the Pisani says Baron Corbin worst cash-in fail ever. Definitely one of the worst, but it's not the dead last worst on my list though. Well, I couldn't consider it yet because I don't think Corbin has completely flopped yet since that cash-in. I feel like he's at least gone somewhere. There's another cash-in though that I felt was a little bit worse than Corbin's, but that's completely fine if you feel that way. Dakota agrees. If Bliss wins, I eat ice cream off her juicy plump ass. Man. Yeah, we'll get to it, guys. I don't want to give away, but yes, you guys already guessed it. So let's get started here. Again, as always, follow on the live chat like Dakota and Asana. Everybody else has to join in also. And again, if you're watching this video afterwards, make sure to leave their thoughts in the comment section of what you think were the worst and the best ones as well. So let's get started here. So let's start down at number 19. Let's go all the way down. Gotta do that. To my opinion, the worst cash-in. And Dakota and Hassan, you guys already guessed it correctly in the live chat. My number 19 for the worst cash-in, I'd say, is Damian Sandow cashing in on John Cena on Raw in 2013. Not long after John Cena returned after only 2 months. We were supposed to be gone for like 6 to 8 months. I think it was maybe even longer from that torn tricep injury that he had with all that fluid in his elbow. Remember, he showed it off the night after Daniel Bryan beat him at SummerSlam in 2013. So they have Damien Sandow come out there, which Damien Sandow, again, this was a huge opportunity for him. Because he even said, in the match that he won Money in the Bank, everyone in that match were all heels. But the goal was to get everybody to think that Cody was going to win. And, of course, him winning, it was supposed to, establish a new top heel, pretty much, a top singles heel. It's going well, but then they had him cash in on Cena. And he just, beat down on Cena a little bit, trying to take advantage of the fact that, he may have returned from injury a little too soon. Just the whole typical Cena return from injury too soon story. Well, of course, Super Cena, again, pulls off, the old tactics that he was booked to do at times. And he beats Sandow. Now, it's not just the fact that Sandow failed this cash in that put it last. But afterwards, where did it take him? He was coming out once a week, doing these weird little comedy stints, which, Aaron Stevens, Damien Sandow's real name, admits in the interview also that, although he thought they were ridiculous, though, he did say he felt that he at least got the crowd reaction that he needed to get out of what he did. So he still feels they were successful, but he was so much more worth it than just that. He finally got, really over with the crowd, of course, with the Miz Dow gimmick, which, again, was not supposed to get him over, but the crowd loved it. They finally turned him face to turn him against the Miz at WrestleMania 31. And you know what? I was fine when they finally had the match for the Miz brand on Raw. They should have done an Extreme Rules, wherever that pay-per-view was. The next pay-per-view was. I was fine with the Miz winning to have his own brand. That way, Damien Sandow could go on to prove to the Miz that he could be better as himself than he was. And he cut that really heartfelt promo on Raw the week after losing the Miz brand match. And then they do that whole thing with Macho Mandow and Axel Mania, trying to do the whole Mega Powers 2.0 or whatever. And he was barely even on TV. And the few times he was shown on TV, he was still nothing but a joke. That cash in, again, just killed his career. The crowd loved him when he had the Miz Dow gig. Even as a heel, he had so much potential, and the WWE just flopped with it. I don't know why. I mean, he seemed like he was okay with what happened. He made something he was fine, but as a wrestling fan, I just couldn't believe they did that to him. Building a new star, had the opportunity with the Money in the Bank briefcase he had, and he fails to cash in with John Cena doing his usual tactics that a lot of people are pissed off. Again, no offense, John Cena. I respect John Cena. He definitely has had his great moments in his career, but he's had those moments also where the booking of him just makes you really mad, and he gets in the way and interrupts the momentum of someone else's career, unfortunately. So that is why, because of where it led Damien Sandow in his career, that's why I think this is the worst cash-in of all time, ranked at number 19. Let's see here. Kennedy was injured when he won the briefcase. We'll talk about that one. Dakota thinks the number one is Edge on John Cena. That's actually not a bad choice at all, but that was not my number one. Ellsworth tarnished the first Women's Money in the Banks. So the match was restored on SmackDown, something Raw never did yet. Yeah, I still kind of am a little not. I still have a bad taste from that also. From that, drop my phone on the floor. From that, that happening also. Sandow maybe coming back. Interesting. Maybe he'll look better. It's right. All the ones for the Raw brand Money in the Bank 2013 were babyface, but all the ones for the SmackDown briefcase, the one that Sandow went, were all heels. But like Sandow said, the goal of that match was to pretty much transition Cody into a babyface. Cena got out his magic shovel and buried Damien Sandow. Oh yes, Natty and Nia will turn heel, as Son's predicting. Natalya may be out of the match and be replaced by Bayley. Yeah, I think this storyline also, though, it looked serious. Hassan, do you know how easy it is to hurt your knee? Oh, trust me, I've hurt my knee before too. But I think it's more so. I think that one's more so storyline. I think, in my honest opinion. Thank you for stuffing a lot of chat, guys. But yeah, let's continue on here now. Again, my number 19 is Damien Sandow failing his cash in on John Cena on Raw in 2013. Number 18 on the list is the one that Hassan personally thought was the worst. But I definitely think it would have been worse, but I couldn't have put it as the worst yet, even though he cashed in and lost to the worst WWE champion you could probably ask for at the time. But he hasn't completely flopped yet since. That's Baron Corbin. I called it like right at the end of 2016. Okay, Baron Corbin needs to win the Money in the Bank briefcase this year. I think he would be the logical pick to do so. Give him time with that briefcase, build him up, and wait for the right opportunity for him to succeed his cash in. And if he would somehow fail the cash in, then make it so meaningful and storyline wise. Well, I'm pretty sure. Well, the plan I predicted went accordingly. He won the briefcase, but then they stuffed him in the feud with Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, it was at a time where both of them could have used some momentum. That feud was just weird, and then they had the history built there that I thought, okay, what if Nakamura won the title off of Jinder, and Corbin cashed in and beat him for the title or something like that? Since there was somewhat history there, but instead, the go-home show before SmackDown, Corbin came out, and Jinder was facing his opponent, John Cena, at SummerSlam. And then with Jinder down, Corbin looks at the briefcase and thinks, this is my opportunity. And if I was Baron Corbin and Jinder Mahal's the ring, I'm like, go for it. Just go for it. Even Paul Heyman even put over Jinder Mahal as a joke in his promo before when it was the first going to be Brock Lesnar versus Jinder Mahal at Survivor Series 2017. Could you imagine if that match went through? That would have been atrocious. Luckily, we got a good match with Brock and AJ. But so Corbin goes to cash in, but of course, Cena. Again, John Cena the past few years has been written better in ways. You can't make me hate him. Again, I was not mad at all when Cena beat Styles for a championship at Royal Rumble in 2017. I didn't like the booking that he had though. When he came back and had the feud with Rusev in the flag match, and then the stuff with Corbin. The stuff with Roman was good, except the results of the match just left the bad taste. I knew the direction they were going in, but I just did not like how pretty much John Cena just pulled off his old tactics and just cut off Corbin's momentum. Corbin's momentum just like that. Like Corbin was on a roll. Like he was being pushed as a monster heel pretty much. And I heard, he had some backstage heat about something, but they just like that cut off all of his momentum. And I was ticked. And of course, the week after, at SummerSlam, it was the opening match. I'm like, if I'm Baron Corbin, I'd be going out there pissed as hell, just wanting to beat the living piss and vinegar out of John Cena. Instead, Corbin went out there and pretty much just let Cena just make him look like an idiot. I mean, he would win the U.S. title off of AJ Styles and beat him clean on SmackDown later on that fall. But his U.S. title run was very forgettable, I felt. And he's not completely dead in the water. They've given him some spurts of momentum here and there, but he just hasn't quite got back on track yet. His career game's not a complete flop yet, but how do you cash in and failing on the worst champion with Jinder Mahal and just getting your all momentum cut off just like that? Not good storytelling at all. So that's why it's my number 18 on this list. Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin's failed cash on SmackDown in 2017 thanks to a distraction to John Cena. He loses to Jinder Mahal. What do you know, guys? What do you know? Time will tell. Yeah, Baron Corbin. No, Jinder is ranked as the worst champion ever, pretty much. Corbin was next on the ranked list. They're saying Bobby Lashley will be the first African American to win the Universal title at SummerSlam. They build him up, more a lot better than he is right now. Then I'll be fine with that, but it's not looking too good so far. He was salty on Corbin. I was pissed when Corbin lost just like that. What would have been funny if Corbin cashed in and made it a triple threat and Cena pinned Corbin and won the title? Oh, that would have been terrible if that happened. Again, John Faggot, Cena. The girl gave Cena. I remember Cena. That girl giving Cena the middle finger. I was pissed at Cena that night. That was just old super Cena booking pretty much right there. That's why I didn't like. I don't like that booking of Cena. Corbin's supposed to be getting a huge push on Raw. I mean, I hope he still gets a chance, but I just don't know what's going to happen with this whole thing with him being the constable of Raw. Imagine if Edge cashed in on Khali. Anybody can cash in the Khali and take the title. I don't give a shit. The great Khali. I eat pizza. Have him squash Sammy and call Lesnar out. Again, the thing though is I don't want to see Sammy get squashed either. I do like Sammy, but they're booking him terribly in this feud. As I said in my Road Dogg rant I posted earlier, I feel Sammy, if anything, has been hurt a lot more than Lashley just hasn't been established. Sammy has been, I feel, just brought down so much because of this feud. Again, it's not his fault, it's because of the writing. Super Roman, yeah, that's pretty much Roman's been being booked as lately, also Super Roman. But yeah, number 18 is Baron Corbin cashing in on SmackDown Live in 2017 and failing against Jinder Mahal, thanks to John Cena. All right, number 18. Number 17 on this list, it's somebody else that I predicted when he turned heel, when he first returned to being out of action for a while. I thought that if this guy needs anything to get back into the main event scene, I think a run as Mr. Money in the Bank would be a logical pick. They were right, and they gave him a good amount of time with that briefcase. Unfortunately, though, they didn't build him up well enough. And when he cashed in, he was cashed in as it was a last resort option, because they knew if they went with what they wanted to do, then, the crowd would not get a good reaction. And of course, again, they were just scared of that. So they thought it would be better if this person cashed in, try to get this person more sympathy, but it did not work either because he wasn't a legitimate threat to be a champion. And of course, I'm talking about Sheamus. When he cashed in on Roman Reigns at Survivor Series in 2015. A terrible pay-per-view. One of the worst pay-per-views I've probably watched. Survivor Series 2015. I think either that or Royal Rumble was my pick for worst pay-per-view of the year for 2015. But man, this is, again, I do like Sheamus. I do definitely think that Sheamus is definitely one of the hardest working veterans the WWE definitely has. He definitely, is very well respected, I feel, by a lot of people in the locker room. And his run with Cesaro, the Bar, has been excellent. But he's never, I don't think personally he's ever been booked well in the main event scene. And, him turning heel when he returned in 2015 was the right route for him to go, because his character was stale as hell as a babyface in 2014. But then again, they just didn't really build him up. The only thing I can remember him doing as Money in the Bank was his feud with Randy Orton. And no offense, but it didn't really, do any favors for anybody, I thought. And then he was in that random 5-on-5 elimination match that was just planned the last second at Survivor Series. I can't remember who's. I know he was teaming up with King Barrett and the New Day against. I can't remember year 5, because again the match was literally just it wasn't even hyped up. It just happened because Survivor Series needed a 5-on-5 elimination match. But I remember he said some really ridiculous line that was obviously scripted, and everybody, the character himself, he looked at him like he was ridiculous. And then at the end of the night, when Roman won, of course, won the title against Ambrose, this whole thing with Vince, like, oh no, Roman's not getting the good reaction that we want, so we'll put the title on Sheamus then. They couldn't put the title on Ambrose. They couldn't have Dean Ambrose beat Roman Reigns in that match. I was looking forward to seeing the match with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. It was the first time that they were supposed to have a pay-per-view match at Night of Champions in 2014. Unfortunately, though, that's when Reigns suffered that hernia injury. He was out for a couple months. But I was looking forward to the match between Rollins and Reigns for the championship. I think that could have, been a better route for Roman to win the title. But yeah, so he knew that Roman was not going to get a good reaction for winning the championship. It was too obvious that once Rollins went down, they're going to put the title on Roman. So then they thought, well, maybe we'll put it on Sheamus, because no one's going to want to cheer for Sheamus as champion. So let's just do that and see what happens. And of course, it didn't work out. Sheamus's title run in 2015 was very unforgettable. If he was built up better, then okay, I could have enjoyed more. But again, the guy works hard. I think he's a great wrestler, but he's never really been written well in the main event scene. So that's why it is my number 17, Sheamus cashing in at Survivor Series 2015. Let me see here. They do it for Roman. Sasha Banks shaking her ass on Raw. Oh gosh, I got an idea too good for WWE to capitalize on. I saw predicting Sheamus being next. Have Roman win the Universal title and turn him heel. Have Rollins be the babyface chasing him and have it all go down at WrestleMania 35. They could do that, or the Shield triple threat at WrestleMania 35. Sheamus deserved to be heel in 2015. Definitely he did, but again, he just could have been booked a lot better. Poor Sheamus, pasty white ass. No Sheamus heel 2009 to 2010. That was okay. Ronda versus who main eventing and closing WrestleMania 35. I say Charlotte. I meant he deserved to turn heel in 2015. He definitely did, yes. Ronda better not main event WrestleMania. Undertaker retiring should. If Ronda does, I'll walk out. Maybe if she's built up better, I'll take it. But yeah, I'm not sure what to think of it. At least League of Nations was better than Mex America. They were both pretty bad. I'm sorry. I did not like League of Nations. I was there at Raw the night the League of Nations formed, and that stupid beat the clock match with Roman and Sheamus. I remember I was sitting like a row over from where Roman entered. But I remember that, and they had that stupid 7-on-3 or 7-on-4 main event. It was the League of Nations and the New Day take. We saw it both of those teams, New Day, League of Nations, and then Roman, Dean, and the Usos. We saw them like how many times that Raw. That was a terrible Raw. I paid like $80-some to go to that show too. I remember also at the beginning of the show, New Day was like hyping up some big celebration. So we're all like, yeah, this is awesome. There's also confetti coming down. I just bought some nachos for dinner. And as soon as they announced this was for Sheamus' championship celebration, smiling like this, I was like, so I got all this confetti in my nachos for this? I was ticked. Very ticked. Let's see here. League of Nations massively failed, unlike the United Kingdom and WWE 12. WWE, please sign Wade Barrett and have him win the Royal Rumble in 2020 or 2019 if he comes back. East Dakota to have it, Mike. Nice. Sasha shook her ass with the New Day on Raw. Yeah, I remember that. Have Styles retain and Miz with Money in the Bank, have Miz cash in at night to pin Styles and Bryan win the Rumble in 2019, and have the Miz defend the title against Bryan WrestleMania 35. I am all for that. I like that idea, Dakota. And it was shown nearly exposed at Hell in a Cell with Charlotte. Social Outcasts. Oh, I completely forgot about the Social Outcasts. You thought they were worse than the League of Nations. I can't even tell who was worse, honestly, but they were both pretty bad. Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss eating booty-os. Oh, man. Booty-os! They make sure you ain't booty. Thanks for stuffing a lot of chat, guys. Let's continue on here. So that was number 17, Sheamus cashing in at Survivor Series. Number 16 is from 2010. He was the last person to win Money in the Bank at WrestleMania before, they had the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and they had 3 Money in the Bank cash-ins in 2010. But this guy, not only did he have him, claiming the title get messed up. I mean, the briefcase get messed up because he couldn't get it unhooked. They had to edit it out of the WrestleMania replay at WrestleMania 26. But and he cashed in on Chris Jericho and just had a flat run with that title. Jack Swagger is my number 16. He succeeded his cash in, but it didn't really do anything for me. I think Jack Swagger did have his place in WWE where he definitely was popular to an extent with some fans, but he never really was anything too spectacular. I mean, I like the guy, but he never was booked well either to be taken seriously. And I just didn't really care for it that much at all to see him as world champion. It was just very forgettable. I think he feuded with the Big Show and Randy Orton, and then he was in the Fatal 4-Way match at Fatal 4-Way, that terrible pay-per-view. I think it was him, CM Punk, Rey Mysterio, and I don't think Kane was in the match. Well, I know that storyline was involving Kane and him trying to hide up the fact that he was the one who attacked The Undertaker. I can't remember who else was in that match. Big Show, the Big Show, Randy Orton. No, not Randy Orton. Big Show, CM Punk, Jack Swagger, Rey Mysterio. Because he feuded with Rey Mysterio until we'll get to that cash in soon. But yeah, just a really bland run with that cash in. Just didn't really care for it at all. So that's why my number 16 is Jack Swagger cashing in on Chris Jericho on SmackDown in 2010. Let me see here. Sasha's fine, yes. Bailey, yeah, Bailey's not too bad either. Naomi's not bad. Miz, oh no, Swagger heard his title reign was poor. It was, yeah, from what I saw. How long was the Miz champion? He was champion when we get to the Miz, which I can't, we'll see when is that coming up on my list. Miz, we have a little bit of ways till the Miz, a couple more until we get to the Miz. Miz was I think in like November, I think it was after Survivor Series, November of 2010 till Extreme Rules 2011. He was his title reign. Bailey will eat bootios with Naomi. I forgot about it. Oh gosh. But after that, Bailey will. Oh my gosh, Hassan, you crack me up, man. The Miz was all right as champion. You're welcome. He mainly faced Cena, though. Yeah, that was the problem with his title reign. He was just a footnote to Cena and The Rock, pretty much. His title run was okay, yeah. Spoiler: keep the title run until he injured. Kept the title until he injured his. I don't know. The Miz reign was it was about 7 or 8 months. Yeah, it was that long, believe it or not. Yep. I'm sure though if they would give him a shot at the world title now, he would definitely make it a lot more valuable than it was then, because he won't be able to. He'll be platforming Cena and Rock again. But yeah, we'll get to that one sooner. But number 16 is Jack Swagger cashing in on Chris Jericho on SmackDown in 2010. Number 15 was the third failed cash-in. Well, it was actually the first failed cash-in, though, ever in WWE history. John Cena cashing in on CM Punk, giving him a week to prepare for their match, which is the main event of Raw 1000, which, it wasn't bad for a setup, pretty much, for, the Punk heel turn and for the eventual feud with Punk and The Rock, pretty much. I mean, set for not a bad match at SummerSlam 2, the triple threat match between John Cena, Big Show, and CM Punk at SummerSlam 2012. That wasn't a bad match at all. But the reason why I put it down so low here is because it was during one of my least favorite times of John Cena. Again, the 2012 run, the whole thing with John Cena and the Cinderella story and how, he didn't beat The Rock at WrestleMania, making it a whole sob story. That didn't need to be a sob story. Like Cena suffered he had a good match against The Rock at WrestleMania 28. At SummerSlam 2014, he got destroyed by Brock Lesnar, and they didn't book a big sob story out of it, pretty much. It just, the booking for Cena was just so weird in 2012. Again, as I mentioned in my rant, and Roman Reigns right now is following that same path. He didn't win the big opportunity at WrestleMania. He lost. He beat Samoa Joe. John Cena beat Brock Lesnar, which again, both times wasn't necessary at all. And now they each refute at this point. Roman's feud with Jinder, and John Cena's feud with John Laurinaitis. And then, Roman's not going to win the Money in the Bank briefcase, but John Cena, just poured his usual tactics and just didn't, put a little bit of edge to him pretty much with this cash in. So I just wasn't a fan of that. And, it was, to me, it just felt like, a giant waste, in my opinion, of the briefcase. Like, who else was in the match? I mean, there wasn't really much star power really in the match, really. It was John Cena, the Big Show. I think Kane was in there also. Chris Jericho and just Miz, and Miz inserted himself in there. I mean, maybe Chris Jericho, but it was kind of a weak, I mean, they're all I'm not saying the star power was weak in it, but the fact that, it was guys that didn't really need to get the briefcase. It wasn't really going to benefit anybody, really. So that's why it's down lower on my list. John Cena failing his cash in on CM Punk because, of course, the Big Show interfered with their match at Raw 1000. Let's see here. What we got here? Naomi should have stink faced like Rikishi. Oh gosh, Cena said he ain't even close to retiring, but Cena actually won technically. Yeah, he's predicting number one to be Rollins or RVD. We'll see. Nikki Bella versus Iggy Azalea. Who got the nicest booty? Let the New Day figure it out. Oh man. Hassan is saying RVD ain't even close to number one. He won at Money in the Bank 2014, and Triple H was pissed as was I. Still watching ROH. That's cool. RVD is because he cashed in on a fresh opponent and won, and it was RVD being Cena of all people. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that a little bit later on. So we still got some ways to go to get to RVD, though. But number 15 was John Cena cashing in on Raw 1000 in 2012. Number 14 was Kane's cash in at Money in the Bank in 2010. Not saying it was bad, but it's like, Kane was more so like the veteran at the time. I felt like someone else could have easily had the cash in. He cashes in on Rey Mysterio, and just, it elevated to the feud in the fall between Undertaker and Kane, which wasn't bad really, but I don't know. It's just one of those catches. Like, it wasn't bad, but it was just like, it happened. Wasn't one of my favorites. Led to a decent feud with Kane and Taker at least, but it didn't feel like anything was that special either, in my honest opinions. That's why it's number 14. Not bad, but not great either. But number 14 is Kane cashing in on Rey Mysterio. Let's see here. J-Lo has the nicest booty. Nikki Bella versus J-Lo booty all day. How's RH going for you? Yeah, Lauren's not here. She joins us, cool. If not, it's all right. Yep, that's number 14 though. Kane cashing in at Money in the Bank 2010. And number 13, we already talked about this brief. Number 13, my opinion, is The Miz cashing in on Raw against Randy Orton in 2010 after Survivor Series. Again, Miz wasn't terrible as WWE champion, but he wasn't really given the best booking. I mean, he had a feud with Randy Orton, which was meh. It was all right. He had a match with Jerry the King Lawler at Elimination Chamber because it was in the midst of that whole Michael Cole and Jerry the King Lawler feud. Oh my God, that was terrible. Let's not talk about that though. And then he pretty much was just a platform for Cena and Rock pretty much. And, Cena won a title off him at Extreme Rules. And then after that, The Miz kind of just, went away for a while, drifted away. He didn't really get like that much momentum back until 2016 when he had his first of many strong runs. He not first run as Intercontinental champion, but like that's where the Miz kind of went to the prime and the strongest points of his career was when he won the Intercontinental Championship off of Zack Ryder and then after WrestleMania 32. But I definitely think his run with the title, as Hassan said, was okay. His cash in was all right, but again, it didn't lead to one that's probably the strongest title reigns he could have had. One of those cash ins that wasn't terrible, but it wasn't that great either. So number 13 is when The Miz cashed in on Randy Orton in 2010. Let's see here what we got in the live chat. Corporate Kane sucked. Did you know that Undertaker has the most SummerSlam wins with Triple H is second? I mean, Undertaker has 10. Triple H is second with 8. Orton is third with 7. Makes it very reasonable. I mean, I definitely agree with that list. Austin Aries got screwed, so he turned heel. That was at ROH. Nice. Robbie says, well, if it is the man who got a Twitter like from Johnny Wrestling after buying his NXT t-shirt. What's up, Robbie? Good to have you in the live chat. Emma's there, though, in ROH. Awesome. I know she's doing great. Robbie, it's you. We need ice cream. I'm going to go get some ice cream right now. Try to in the freezer downstairs. One of the best feuds I've seen was Miz versus Ziggler in 2016. Definitely. That was a really good feud. It was, I remember when that feud first started, I'm like, man, this again, it's all right. But that was a really great feud. It really, made both of them look good. I believe when I did the year in review video in 2016 with Dan, Gene, I think Nerd Coalition joined us also. I believe that was Gene's feud of the year. But that was a good feud. Yeah, Ziggler and Miz in 2016 on SmackDown. Very good stuff, especially the career versus title match, which that should have main evented No Mercy if they the rumors were true that they really moved the championship match to the first match of the show because of the debate. I mean, Orton and Wyatt was okay. I was happy that Wyatt won, but Ziggler and Miz, the career versus title match, definitely should have been the main event, I felt. Let's see here. Mike eats too much ice cream and his belly will be extra thick. No way, man. No way. I'm not fat at all, man. I know you're just kidding around me, but yeah. What's up, Lauren? Nice of you to join us. Hassan says, I will low blow like Shinsuke. Oh, goodness. Mike Kanellis needs a push. I mean, I wouldn't give him a shot. They give him a try, but I don't think it's going to happen now. Do you think Ziggler was going to retire? I actually thought Ziggler was going to retire. Again, when Ziggler was drafted to SmackDown, when the draft first came back, I thought, okay, there's guys that I feel just, are just going to continue to get wasted. So if you're not going to do anything, then just put them on Raw. That way, you can get more room for other superstars who deserve the spotlight. That's why I at first was not thrilled about Ziggler going to the SmackDown. I mean, I was fine with getting the championship opportunity he got against Dean Ambrose at SummerSlam in 2016. The match wasn't as good as I hoped for. And then when he was when Dolph Ziggler was going to feud with Miz, I'm just like, I was like, man, all right, but that definitely at least, made me think different about Dolph Ziggler being on SmackDown, which would capitalize more on that heel turn in 2017 they did with him. But, what do I know? Let me see here. Let's see here. Where are we at? It's all right, Lauren. No worries for you. No worries for you being late. Dakota says hi to Lauren. How long has this chat been going on? Probably about a half an hour, I'd say. Ziggler needs to stay with WWE. He's talented. I mean, definitely he is talented, definitely. But I'm glad he is finally having something meaningful with this thing with McIntyre. But yeah, for a while, at first I thought that Ziggler was gonna. I really thought Ziggler was gonna be leaving. Then I also thought he was gonna be leaving. Also, when he walked out, after he won the U.S. title, after Clash of Champions, but we're supposed to forget about that now because that never happened. What was number 10 on this list? We haven't gotten to that yet because I'm actually doing. Lauren, since you're joining me a little late, what I thought it was from the idea that you gave me of top 10 Money in the Bank cash-ins. I couldn't think of 10 solid ones that I thought were great. They're either great, okay, but not terrible, but nothing really spectacular, and then the worst ones. So then I thought we were going to do just a top 5 best, top 5 worst, but I'm like, I still didn't think that was a good idea. So I'm taking all 19 and ranking them from worst to best pretty much. I think we just did number 13 actually. So that's where we're at now. Let's see here. Yeah, Ziggler's super kick on Styles was one of the best super kicks ever. That was awesome. Thanks for doing my suggestion. Much love. Of course, Lauren, you definitely make good suggestions. Everybody says hello. Well, guys, I've got Bailey to Berry, legit Boston ice cream, Rowdy Ronda raspberry, and straight fire pineapple strawberry. I will take let me see. I will take I'll try the straight fire pineapple strawberry, sure. Everybody saying hello. Lauren is the best. Lauren number 1. Sure. Robbie, go Robbie. That's why we love you, Lauren. Yes, we do. But yeah, so we're doing all 19. I'm looking the belly buttons of Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, and Sarah Logan. Of course, Sarah's is cute because it's deep. Oh, goodness, Hassan. Yeah, we all love Robbie. We didn't say it again. Lauren is the best. Lauren number 1. Please sign Robbie. Yes. Yes, Robbie, Lauren is the best. I wish WWE would hire Tyson Kidd full time. Me too. Is this top 5 best and worst cash-ins? No, it's again. I'm just talking about all 19 cash-ins we've had and ranking them from worst to best, pretty much. I just did number 13. Then we got all these good stuff. I'm eating legit boss cream off her. Hassan. Hassan, may I interest you in a Riot Square root beer bar? I'll take it. Tyson wrote the Miz Rollins storylines. Yes, that was awesome. Raw is Road Dogg. No. Raw sucks with Road Dogg. Yep. All 19, wowza. Because I just thought, just doing the 5 would not flow well. So, yep. Yes, Road Dogg sucks, definitely. But yeah, thanks guys for tuning in the live chat. I'll catch up though on that, but let's continue on here. But to recap so far, since we've got a few people in the live chat, from worst to best. So far, at number 19, I had Damian Sandow's cash in on Raw in 2013 was the worst. More so because of, how I said before, how Sandow's career just went completely downhill. Number 18 was Corbin's failed cash on SmackDown last year. I mean, I didn't put that as the worst because Corbin hasn't completely flopped, but, he hasn't really recovered 100% well since. Number 17 was Sheamus's cash in at Survivor Series 2015. 16 was Jack Swagger's cash in on Chris Jericho on SmackDown in 2010. 15 was John Cena's failed cash in on Raw 1000 2012. Number 14 was Kane's cash in and Money in the Bank in 2010. Number 13 was Miz's cash in on Raw in 2010. So let's go on to number 12 now. Number 12 is, of course, the only women's Money in the Bank cash in so far. When Carmella cashed in on Charlotte, the SmackDown Live after WrestleMania. After WrestleMania 34. Now, I know, again, Carmella is not one of the best in the rings. I mean, she is great on the mic. I know sometimes she can get a little too much on the microphone at times, but I still think the cash-in she did was well done. Her title reign has been, a complete flop. I don't hate Carmella as champion, but I think she'd be a little bit better, especially in the ring. But I think it was well played out. She cashed in on Charlotte. They had Billie Kay and Peyton Royce come out, make it strong. They have a vicious beatdown, like a believable beatdown on Charlotte to lead for Carmella to do the cash in on her. So I think, the cash in was well done. The title reign's been okay. So I'll give it as right in the middle as far as the rankings go for cash in. So that's why number 12 is when Carmella cashed in on Charlotte on the SmackDown Live after WrestleMania 34. We're going to come more before I check the live chat again. I'll do one more actually. We'll do the top 10. Number 11 on the list, in my opinion, is when Alberto Del Rio cashed in on CM Punk at SummerSlam 2011 after the match when CM Punk faced John Cena for the Undisputed titles, as they were both champions. It was after CM Punk walked out of the WWE at Money in the Bank a month earlier. After winning the titles, his contract expired. As I shall reinteract, July 17th is the day my contract comes to an end. And trust me when I tell you, I am leaving with the WWE Championship, pretty much. But no. So the match was excellent. Of course, it had the controversial finish though, because Cena did. They did not. Triple H did not see, especially for I think Cena was on the ropes when he was pinned. But after the match, Kevin Nash attacked him, and then Del Rio came out and capitalized the opportunity. Of course, again, the reason why I put it down a little bit lower is because, one, I never really cared much for Del Rio, and the cash-in was whatever. I mean, his title reign was pointless. He only had it for a month, and he won it back at Hell in a Cell. It wasn't really, again, never really been a big fan of him. And also the fact that, the storyline was just WWE just trying to cut off all CM Punk's momentum and transfer it all onto Triple H pretty much, but didn't work because a couple months later, Survivor Series, Punk won the title off of Del Rio, and he wanted to have a 434 successful day title reign. Now, unfortunately, it's going to be broken very shortly, I think, at Money in the Bank or the day after Money in the Bank by the guy who doesn't defend the title at all. Well, just a couple times a month. I mean, a year. A month would be nice if it meant a couple times a month. A year, Brock Lesnar. That's why it's my number 11. Alberto Del Rio cashing in on CM Punk at SummerSlam 2011 after Kevin Nash attacked him after the match. Let's see here. What do we got? Let's see here. Let's see here. Lauren loved my Road Dogg rant. Thank you. Sweating like hell in the car. Raw is Rollins. Raw should be Rollins, but Raw is Road Dogg. Also, do top 10 rants. Do I have that one listed down here? I'm not sure, but I will put it down there just in case. Let's see here. No, I do not have that one. Okay. Top 10 rants. Okay, let's add that one to the list. Well, I'm getting a bunch of messages there. Um, let's see here. Um, I'm eating every ice cream Robbie came up with except the flavors I don't like. Cena buried Sandow, pretty much. Cena, Corbin, Sandow, Swagger, Sheamus, and Miz was the worst cash-ins in her opinion. That's fine. Mella is money. Lauren loves Mella again. I don't hate Carmella either. I mean, I definitely should be a little better in the ring, but I think the microphone skills definitely, has her, up more a little bit higher on the totem pole, definitely. Did you know Orton is third of all time in SummerSlam wins? Roman, Robbie make a gender ice cream. I wouldn't eat that at all. Best cash-in things are Edge in 06, Orton, Bryan, Carmella, Ziggler, and Rollins. It's a good list there. Most of them are towards the top. Sorry, only the women's division is eligible for ice cream bars. Definitely. Lauren didn't like Del Rio's cash in. Where are the Iconics? I miss Peyton. So do I. Ambrose's cash in was great too. We will talk about him. Wearing a shirt, by the way. Wink, wink. But I know that Dakota. That's why Orange is known as Mr. SummerSlam. Asuka should not have lost, let alone tap out. Punk's cash in was one of the best. RB's cash in was terrible. She didn't like RB's cash in. That's okay. Robbie make one of Tony Storm. Billy Kay is okay looking, but Peyton Royce is fire. I actually do agree with that. RVD's wasn't terrible. He beat Cena's ass when he was fresh. Peyton is more prayer and talented than Billy. I think so. You hate Cena, don't you, Dakota? Why? Oh, crap, I got to go. My phone is dying. I'll catch you later, Hassan. Lesnar defeated Punk's title reign. Yeah, we'll be happy about that. I'm not happy about Lesnar not going to be back until SummerSlam again. Just leave, definitely. Top 10 Roy 1 Kenobi moments, same bookings, etc. I think I have that one written down as well. But thankfully, Lesnar is dropping a belt at SummerSlam. The rumors for Lashley to beat him, no matter who it is, just get that dang belt off of Lesnar, please. Yes, called WWE. Robbie will get your plug in at the end, as usual. I don't hate Cena. Cena is one of the greatest, but again, I say too, I respect Cena. Cena's good. But he has had those moments where it's just like, you kind of got in their way a little bit of their momentum, I thought. He didn't need the victory he got, I felt at times. But still, I do respect the guy. He definitely is one of the greatest. But I didn't like some of his booking moments as well. But again, don't want to completely crap on Cena either at all. Do top 10 worst things Road Dogg has booked so far. Ooh, I like that. Top 10 worst moments Road Dogg has booked so far. Worst Road Dogg bookings. I had those top 10 Robbie things suggested. And also top 10 moments where Cena is Super Cena. Top 10 Super Cena moments. Man, my list is so long here. Lauren says, I'm a huge fan of Cena, but he has buried talent. I hate saying that, but it's true. Yeah, exactly. That's how I fear it. I feel now. Now it's Super Roman. Roman buries more talent than Cena, to be honest. He's starting to, definitely. I can't deny that at all. It isn't all Road Dogg's fault. True, but still, who else are we supposed to blame at this moment, man? But yeah, I'll continue on with this. Keep stuff coming in the live chat. I'll do a couple more. Number 10, for cash-ins is CM Punk's cash-in on Raw in 2008 against Edge. I put this down a little bit lower than Punk's second cash-in because this first cash-in led to an okay title run for him, but it definitely wasn't one of his strongest. I feel like he definitely had a lot stronger of a run with that title when he cashed in a year later, but we'll talk about that later. This one, though, it definitely deserved at least being in the top 10 because it was against Edge, and Edge was gloating about, him being the champion. And of course, Punk was definitely an upcoming fan favorite as well. He came out and cashed in on the Radar Superstar, who was, of course, as we all know, anytime Edge was, was out, he was definitely one of the biggest stars on the roster. Of course, he was well established in his first cash in. We'll talk about soon also. but still, I mean, it wasn't as strong a title run for Punk, but definitely I feel like, was, a good moment for him as well. So that's why it's my number 10. CM Punk cashing in on Raw in 2008. Speaking of Edge, number 9 is when Edge cashed in on The Undertaker on SmackDown in 2007. Now, I put this one down a little bit lower also because this was a really weird time for the briefcase. As we mentioned before, it was supposed, well, Mr. Kennedy was the one, I'm sorry, let me start again. Actually, wait a second. Let's see if I can find it. That old crummy microphone, megaphone that I had here. Let's see if it's in here. I don't want to take too long to install the stream. Aha! Underneath one of my slippers. If I may, with this crappy toy megaphone that I found in my closet long ago. So anyways, I was talking about how the original winner of the 2007 Money in the Bank briefcase was Mr. Kennedy. As it was planned for Mr. Kennedy to get a mega push, and it was eventually going to lead him to facing Triple H at WrestleMania 24 for the World Heavyweight Championship, whichever championship Triple H would be holding. Then he was also supposed to be the Mr. McMahon's illegitimate son angle, but I was getting mixed up. I know he suffered an injury, and I know he also once tested positive. He was suspended for violating the wellness policy. So one of the two happened. And because of that, that's why the briefcase had to be changed over to Edge, who would then cash in on The Undertaker. So first off, the cash in situation was kind of weird. But, cashing in on The Undertaker and being in with a couple spears was definitely, a moment, definitely for sure. I mean, it wasn't, probably, not one of the most, I mean, it was exciting, but probably not as exciting, but it was still, a strong cash, and I feel, in my opinion, especially when we cashed in on The Undertaker. So that's why I give the 2007 cash in by Edge as my number 9. One more, and I'll check the live chat again. Number 8 for cash-ins. 2011 TLC, Daniel Bryan cashing in on The Big Show. Of course, the story behind this also is Daniel Bryan shared in his documentary and in his book. The fact that he said that, the plan was not for him to win Money in the Bank at first. Again, he mentions that year they were thinking about giving a SmackDown briefcase to Wade Barrett. But since they wanted Del Rio to win the Raw briefcase, they thought that, having, two similar villains win the briefcase would not feel, fresh. So I guess they were debating between either Barrett, Bryan, or Cody Rhodes. They ended up getting it to Daniel Bryan, even though he admitted he wasn't really built up that well for being Mr. Money in the Bank. They just didn't really know what to do with him in the briefcase. Another opportunity he felt that he could have been good from cash in was at Vengeance when the ring collapsed in the match between Big Show and Mark Henry, but he couldn't because they didn't bring him to the pay-per-view. And then a week before TLC, Mark Henry suffered an injury. They weren't planning on taking the title off of Henry at all, apparently, anytime soon. But because that happened, I guess they weren't too crazy about putting the title back on the Big Show. So that's when they decided to just put the title on Daniel Bryan, as they decided literally the day of, because he was only at the TLC pay-per-view because he had a signing at a nearby Kmart that day. So there's a story of him getting to it was something. I know eventually had leading to a decent title run for Daniel Bryan. It also was when the Yes Movement was birthed. Of course, it led to him losing 18 seconds, but that's what made him and started to get him a lot more popular, leading to his rise to the eventual main event at WrestleMania and overcoming all the odds, the Authority. But that's why it's my number 8 is Daniel Bryan cashing in on the Big Show at TLC in 2011. Let me see what we got here. Let's see here. Top 10 Orton's sadistic moments. I'll see what I can do with that one. I'll try that. Top 10 Orton sadistic moments. Yes, please, Vince. True. He's still a terrible writer. As Robbie says, Regal, time is up. Love that run in NXT he had. well, it's Vince and Road Dogg. There are 20 writers on each show, and Road Dogg's name shows because he's the head writer. Top 10 stars who deserve a championship, and top 10 stars who never won the title. I believe I had that one written down. Should be the writer who was hired in 2016. Yeah, I don't know. Edge the Opportunist. Edge, yes, he's one of the best cash-ins in 2006. We'll get that one shortly. Yeah, his cash in 2009 was better than 2008. Who won Money in the Bank in 2008 at Mania 24? What's it, Punk? Yeah, it was him. He won in 2008. Kennedy wasn't that good, to be honest. I found him annoying. That's fine. When he cashed in on Cena, that's a super Cena moment. It should have taken 3 spears to beat Cena because Edge has the best spear every 10 times better than Roman's and Goldberg's and Rhino's. That is true. Punk did. Kennedy is big in TNA. I saw Morrison may come back at Royal Rumble 2019. That would be awesome. Lawrence says Kennedy was a fuck up in the ring. He botched too much, and he was one of the wellness. He was on the wellness policy, and also Cena, McMahon, and Orton were afraid for other safety. That's why he was released. I see. Like Brian's cash-in and the heel turn that led to it. That was definitely good for him. What made Edge's spear so good was that he hit it. He pulled his hair back. Yeah, that is true. I forgot about that part to it. Everybody loves Edge. I wish that we could have seen Edge wrestle. I got the top 10 SummerSlam moments listed on here as well. I'll probably do that more closer to when SummerSlam. Top 10 WWE stars who should be GMs. That one. Top 10 superstars who should be GMs. That's a good one to try. Orton RKO on Evan Bourne was sick. Yes. Did you know Punk versus CM Money in the Bank was the best match of 2011 the last 5 years? Definitely. Yes, it was. Regal was a good GM for NXT. He is awesome. Was it Money in the Bank? I thought it was SummerSlam. Well, I mean, they had that match at SummerSlam also, but I think I do agree their match of Money in the Bank was definitely better with the stakes at hand. Ryan Ward, Rob Kenobi for WWE head writers. What a dream team. Love that team right there. Punk was the only wrestler to win Money in the Bank 2 years in a row. Shawn Michaels cut his hair. Nice. Ryan Ward was awesome. I don't know why they got rid of him. Edge needs to grow his hair back out. He just doesn't look the same. I agree. But, what can we do? Thank you guys for stuff in the live chat. Let's keep rolling here. Let's see here. We just did Daniel Bryan, number 8. Number 7. Number 7, we were just talking about this briefly before, was when CM Punk cashed in at Extreme Rules in 2009. He cashed in on Jeff Hardy, who had finally overcome all the odds, his rivalry with Edge, who just seemingly got in the way of him every time he tried to go after the championship. And then, of course, he feuded with his own brother when he intervened as well. And their feud was, good, but it wasn't like as good as it probably could have been. And then Punk cashed in. And at first it was a face-on-face thing. But then, Punk slowly turned heel. He started, attacking Hardy about his drug issues and whatnot, which made Punk a really good heel because, as I said, what makes a heel good is that they do speak some truth in there as well that, definitely, gives the babyface something to overcome, making him look like, a legitimate heel, not just, a coward who has no idea what he's doing. But that, especially that leading to that feud was awesome. Feud with Taker was all right, of course, in 2009. But I just definitely thought that cash-in was much better than, I should say much better, but it was, it put him in like that spot where CM Punk took the next step, I'd say, as a main eventer pretty much in the WWE. Yes, he kind of got slowed down a little bit with, the SCS stuff, which, he said as well, was definitely underrated. He didn't really get back up to the main event level at all. Well, he got even further up when he got to Summer of Punk in 2011. But I definitely think, that was one of his first, his first runs as a legitimate, a strong main eventer was when he was a world champion in 2009. He cashed in on Jeff Hardy and wanted to have that great feud between the two of them. I can't wait to watch their match when we get to SummerSlam 2009 also. That was a really good match. But number 7 is CM Punk's cash-in at Extreme Rules in 2009. Number 6. Wearing his shirt. Dean Ambrose cashing in at Money in the Bank 2016. As I've said before, if the first half of Money in the Bank 2016 was not just average or was what it was, Money in the Bank 2016 could have been one of the best pay-per-views we have seen in a long time. Like we've had like solid good pay-per-views, but this was like almost on like a legendary level. I feel that pay-per-view was the second half of the show, at least. Man, like the main event of that show was awesome. The match with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins was good. As I said earlier in the show, I was looking forward to the match with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns at Survivor Series 2015 before Rollins got hurt, because it was the first time he was a championship on the line. It didn't feel as predictable because we've never seen Roman and Seth go at it on pay-per-view. So this is the first time it happened there. Although the rumors have that Roman was supposed to retain, as originally they were going to have the WWE Championship on Raw, and the Universal title was going to go to SmackDown with AJ Styles winning that. Of course, probably made that title all blue. But Roman was not supposed to lose the belt because he only lost because of the wellness policy suspension. But Rollins won the championship. And then afterwards, we've been waiting to see him get that up. Well, he had gotten, the title opportunities before, but we're waiting for him to see him finally get capitalized and get that big title win for him. Dean Ambrose's music hits, and I still remember that was a week and a half after I injured my knee, and it still wasn't, good enough to me, go out on again. But I remember I was sitting down as soon as Dean's music hits, I jumped up and went nuts. I was like, I can't believe it was happening. It was just crazy. He came out and he attacked Rollins from behind with a briefcase. And, you didn't know if, Rome was going to interfere or whatnot and turn heel and interfere and cause Dean to fail cash. Like, if that would have happened, that would have been a good, failed cash in. But the fact that, Dean beat Rollins, he finally got his first WWE title, world title. Well, that time it was still the World Heavyweight Championship. And then it was called just the World Championship, and then now it's called the WWE Championship. Whatever you want to call it now. That title changed names so many times in the first few months since the brand split returned. But it was just a great moment for Dean, and also a great moment because it was the night that within the span of 5 minutes, all three members of the Shield had held the championship. Led to the triple threat match at Battleground, which was good. I definitely would like to see them try it again because I definitely think do a lot better with it. Because also the problem was Roman wasn't there for pretty much almost all the build for that, because of the suspension for violating the wellness policy. I was glad, though, that they didn't give the title back to Roman. I really thought that that Dean was just going to be a paper champion at first. And yes, he could have had a little bit more. His title reign was all right. It definitely could have been better, the one he had. But around the time that's when AJ Styles heated up. And again, I love Dean Ambrose, but AJ Styles definitely, once he beat Cena, he was definitely much more worthy of having that championship than he was. But that moment was still excellent. It's definitely one of my favorite moments as a wrestling fan is Dean Ambrose winning his first world title when he cashed in on Seth Rollins. And that is why it's my number 6 on this list from ranking the cash-ins from 1 to 19. So before we get to the top 5, let's go to the live chat. Let's see here. Let's see. I think we were here. Ed needs to grow his hair back. Did you like the Orton and Christian match at Money in the Bank 2011? She loved it. Wasn't bad. That feud definitely did drag on a little bit. Made sense, with Christian finding every little thing wrong with all of his losses pretty much. I still thought their SummerSlam match, No Holds Barred match, was definitely the best one, though, out of all their matches that they had. But that one wasn't too bad either, with, of course, Christian, being, pulling off the heel tactics and spinning on Orton, testing his anger issues, and, having Orton get all pissed off, get disqualified because that was part of the match. Let me see here. HBK looks really bad. She saw a recent pic. Oh dear. Did you know Kelly is single? There you go. Ah, man. The Hardy versus Punk feud wasn't that great, to be honest. I liked it, but it's fine. Kelly is married. That's all right. Did you know, Mike, that Jeff Hardy is one of the few guys that is little where Vince is high on and Jeff is done with drugs? Definitely good for him. Definitely. Heels always go off script. Well, definitely they shouldn't have to be going off script at all. Jeff is one of the greatest of all times. Kelly's married. Why did the sportster say she was single? Because you're right, I looked. People rank Rey Mysterio higher than Jeff. I think Jeff is one of the 20 greatest ever. I definitely think he is. Missed the old world title in 2010. Me too. I feel dumb now, the Kelly thing, because I thought she was also bad. I saw it. That's all right. No worries, Dakota. It happens. That's it for a live chat for now. I'll keep rolling here. So let's get into the top 5 now. Again, just a recap. So far, the rankings of all the Money in the Bank cash-ins so far. Number 19 was Damian Sandow cashing in on Raw in 2013. 18 was Baron Corbin's failed cash in 2017. 17 was Sheamus's cash in at Survivor Series 2015. 16 was Jack Swagger's cash in on SmackDown 2010. 15 was John Cena's failed cash in at Raw 1000 in 2012. 14 was Kane cash in at Money in the Bank in 2010. 13 was The Miz's cash in on Raw in 2010. 12 was Carmelo's cash in on SmackDown Live after WrestleMania 34. 11 was Del Rio's cash in on SummerSlam 2011. 10 was CM Punk's cash in on Raw in 2008. Number 9 was Edge's cash in on SmackDown in 2007. 8 was Daniel Bryan's cash in at TLC 2011. Number 7 was CM Punk's cash in at Extreme Rules in 2009. Number 6 was Dean Ambrose's cash in at Money in the Bank in 2016. Let's get to the top 5. There's 5 left. How will they go in the rankings? Number 5 on my list. And yes, I know I'm going to sound like a complete hypocrite because he kind of pulled what Cena did and gave them 1 week and cash in and told when the match would happen instead of do what most people do for Money in the Bank cash-ins. But I still think this was like a historical moment, definitely, with, the superstar who beat, a fresh opponent. And, it was, the guy that everybody in the crowd was rooting for. I think it was definitely a moment in history. Definitely the crowd hijacked the show pretty much. But I'm talking about when RVD cashed in on John Cena and they wrestled for the WWE Championship at ECW One Night Stand in 2006. Again, I've never really watched this match or anything, but I've seen highlights from it, but of course, I feel like the moment was big for RVD's career. I feel like it was just it was a big moment because of the brands colliding in competition also as well. Unfortunately, it didn't really last long. I think RVD got in trouble with the police or something like that not too far down the line after that. So this could have been ranked out a little bit further down, but I think just the moment that it was, again, Cena was more of a fresh talent, but he was starting to get into the John Cena where people love him, people hate him, though, even though he's supposed to be the ultimate good guy, but he was getting to that stage as well. But the ECW crowd was just so unkind to Cena. So I think it was just definitely, it was a big, that was a big moment, I think, for RVD as well. So that's why it's my number 5 is when RVD cashed in on John Cena at ECW One Night Stand in 2006. And for a brief period, I think he held both the WWE and ECW championships. So that was an awesome moment for him. Number 4 on the list, Edge cashing in at New Year's resolution in 2006. This was the cash in, of course. This is when Edge, pretty much started becoming more of a main eventer. For years he was, a tag team with Christian. He had a few runs with the mid-card titles and whatnot. But this was him, becoming the ultimate opportunist and, being the first person to win Money in the Bank and to cash in also. And yes, like the coach said, it was a little odd and a little disappointing that he had to use 3 spears to beat Cena for that cash in. I do agree, even though he just went through a brutal elimination chamber match. So I definitely do agree, on selling the injuries and whatnot. That was definitely not a strong move there. But I think, it was definitely, again, it's the moment that made Edge, a main eventer. Even though I don't think he held the title on for too long. I don't think. I think Cena did eventually be in for. I think, with it being the first cash in and, getting Edge to that main event level. That's why it is my number 4 on the list. Edge cashing in on John Cena at New Year's resolution in 2006. Let's see here. We just had just Dakota and Robbie. It's fine. Where is Sheldon Benjamin? No idea. And Orton needs to attack Jeff at SummerSlam and turn heel. Wouldn't be a bad idea. RVD, number one heist of the century. Rollins was with the heist of the century. Red hot Rollins. Rollins is white hot, which is better than red hot. I haven't heard the crowd that loud in a long ass time. Me neither, but he does deserve what he is getting. But yeah, that was number 4. Number 3, again, is the moment that grabbed my attention and made me a wrestling fan, of course, is when Randy Orton cashed in at SummerSlam 2013. The swerve with, Daniel Bryan and John Cena put it on a great match, probably the best main event in SummerSlam history. Could be, maybe, not sure. An awesome match with Triple H, especially as referee, with the whole story of Daniel Bryan, people not liking that John Cena picked Daniel Bryan to be in the spot because the company doesn't really want, guy Daniel Bryan being the top guy in the company. Of course, Triple H was the guy who he wanted to, remain, impartial and call the match down the middle as referee, but he also showed faith in Daniel Bryan. And Randy Orton working around with Mr. Money in the Bank, he was, pretty much was teasing the heel turn. He pretty much was a heel, but he hadn't really solidified yet until this moment where Triple H shockingly turned heel, attacked Daniel Bryan, and had Orton cash in, and Randy Orton and Triple H just ripped away Daniel Bryan's moment again. We'll go on to that great feud with Daniel Bryan and the Authority that led to, Daniel Bryan winning the championship after beating Triple H, Orton, and Batista all in the same night. It was just a well-played out storyline, and it all started with this cash-in, with Randy Orton playing the well-played heel in this feud as well, of course, as well as Triple H and, Stephanie and Batista did, leading to that big moment at WrestleMania 30 for Daniel Bryan. So that's why it is my number 3 on this list, with Randy Orton cashing in on Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam 2013. Before we go to top 2, let's check the live chat again. Did you know Cena does good in first-time ever matches? He won his first ever Elimination Chamber match. He won his first ever Money in the Bank match, and countless other first-time matches. Doesn't surprise me at all, Dakota, honestly. But it's all right. So let's get into the top 2 cash-ins. They're both from a couple years ago, of course. Number 2 on my list of the Money in the Bank cash-ins. Number 2 took place on Monday Night Raw, the night after WrestleMania 29. This is a superstar who had gained a lot of popularity from the crowd, even though he was a heel. And the current World Heavyweight Champion was Jack Swagger, and the World Heavyweight Champion was Alberto Del Rio, more meant to be a heel, but he was having a run as a baby face because I guess WWE was trying to make him, that Mexican superhero pretty much, but it didn't work out. But this guy was just a lot popular, and people were just waiting to see him cash in, hopefully have his moment, and finally be a world champion that, he well deserved to be. Unfortunately, a concussion, shortened that run, and he's not touched the world title ever since. Had a couple opportunities here and there, but he hasn't become world champion since. But of course, this is probably the biggest moment of his career, I feel, in my opinion, and that's when Dolph Ziggler cashed in on Alberto Del Rio. The night after WrestleMania, the Raw after WrestleMania 29, the crowd was just loud and energetic. It was just a huge moment. Del Rio had like a kayfabe ankle injury, I believe it was, and after I think Del Rio had like a 2-on-1 handicap match or something like that against Swagger and Zeb Coulter. I can't remember for sure if that's the one, so don't quote me on it. But after the match, Del Rio was obviously tired out. Ziggler came out with AJ Lee, and Big E was his bodyguard at the time. And then he got in there, and Del Rio was going to get the cross arm breaker on him, but Ziggler took advantage of, the bad angle and started twisting it, breaking up the cross arm breaker, hitting the zigzag, and winning the world championship. Again, though, unfortunately, it didn't really lead. Ziggler did kind of get his momentum cut off again with that injury, and they reverted Del Rio back to being a heel. They pretty much, did a double turn between them. But I think still it was definitely a huge moment in Monday Night Raw history also as well. I think, it was definitely Ziggler's best moment as well. The crowd reaction, everything. It was the perfect time for a successful cash in for an upcoming star. And that's why I think it's number 2 on the rank of cash ins of all time. Dolph Ziggler cashing in on Alberto Del Rio on the Raw after WrestleMania 29. Just an unreal moment. I didn't get to see it. I wasn't watching wrestling full time yet. I was watching it here and there, but I watched that moment. I do get chills watching it. That is my number 2 on this list. Orton isn't turning heel anytime soon. Lauren's got to go. She's walking the dogs. I'll talk to you later, Lauren. Thanks for joining me live. He needs to. And I love Dolph's cash in. Loudest pop of all time. Dolph deserves another title run. If they build him up to it, I will not be opposed to that at all. I don't see him being Brock Lesnar over that Universal title, though, unfortunately. Man. So let's get to it. Number 1, it's very obvious at this point, but to me, again, the main event of WrestleMania 31, minus the cash-in, I still thought Roman and Brock put on a good match. They didn't do that at WrestleMania 34, but, we'll have to talk about that. So with or without this cash-in, if Roman would have won, I think, it was still a good match. I'll give it to them. But this moment was what made this WrestleMania even a lot more memorable. And Robbie, I'm so glad you got to definitely experience this, being there live for this. But as we all call it, the heist of the century, Seth Rollins cashing in at WrestleMania 31 during the WWE Championship match, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. I've never actually tried searching for it. I think I will, but I would like to know also if someone was able to say in an interview something like that, when Rollins knew this was going to happen. Was this a last minute decision? Yes, it was probably, again, WWE afraid to pull the trigger because they knew Roman wouldn't get a good reaction, even though they still went with it a year later, WrestleMania 32, and Roman still didn't get a good reaction. He had WrestleMania 33 whenever he beat The Undertaker, and WrestleMania 34, well, nobody got a good reaction at all. But we're not going to talk about that again. I still couldn't believe this happened. I remember, though, that night, I was watching WrestleMania 34 at my friend Dan's house, and only one person in the whole room. He's a casual viewer of wrestling also. He'll watch pay-per-views stuff. He always watch wrestling all the time. A casual viewer predicted that. The only person that predicted that Seth would cash in. I thought it would be too good and WWE wouldn't go for it. As soon as I heard Seth's music hit the wrestle towards the end of that match, I'm like, oh my goodness, you gotta be kidding me. And Seth came out on his own. No Kane, no J&J security, no other authority members, nobody. Not even Triple H. Well, Triple H got beaten down by The Rock and Ronda Rousey earlier. But man, we were all going nuts. Yes, Roman, I've gotten a good reaction if he won, but I still thought the match was so good. I was happy with the match. But that made things even better. Just a WrestleMania moment, you want to put it in there, cash in. It would have been nice to see if Rollins would have cashed in and would have pinned Brock instead of Roman. But either way, it was still an unreal moment. It was one of those moments that was too good to believe it would happen, I felt. And again, it's one of the reasons why I personally think of he's not really one of the younger talent anymore. He's definitely more of a veteran. He's been around now for 29, 30, 31, 33, 34, for 5 WrestleManias now. And, still with the limited experience I keep saying, I think Seth Rollins has one of the strongest WrestleMania resumes on the main roster so far, booking wise. Yes, Roman Reigns is main evented 4 WrestleManias, but they all weren't great matches, unfortunately. But I think Seth Rollins, WrestleMania 29, him and the Shield, match was what it was, but they were getting over. WrestleMania 30, I know people saying that match was also a squash match, but think about it. At the time, the Shield was white hot also. So was Daniel Bryan, but the Shield was right up there with Daniel Bryan on his level. White hot. Of course, you want to see the Shield just kill 3 legends pretty much like they did. 31, he lost to Orbital. It was still a great match. That sick looking RKO to the finish. And then the cash-in was definitely the moment for him. He was at WrestleMania 32, but 33, he beat Triple H in a good match that could have been better if it wasn't as long. It could have just shaved about, I think, 5 minutes off of that match, and it would have been a lot better than it turned out to be. And of course, WrestleMania 34, a great triple threat match with him, Miz, and Finn Balor to win the Intercontinental title and become a Grand Slam champion. It's safe to say I think Seth Rollins already has a good resume built up for WrestleMania. And I think he could be on the verge of getting to Hall of Fame status, I think, as well. But that's why, to me, in my honest opinion, Seth Rollins cash-in at WrestleMania 31 is the best cash-in of all time. So we got through them all, guys. All 19. I ranked all 19 Money in the Bank cash-ins, in my honest opinion, from worst to best. Let's go through the list again one more time. Number 19, the worst one, was Damian Sandow failing his cash-in on John Cena on an episode of Raw in 2013. Number 18 was when Baron Corbin failed his cash-in on a go-home show of SmackDown Live before SummerSlam 2017 against Jinder Mahal, thanks to John Cena. Number 17 was when Sheamus cashed in on Roman Reigns at Survivor Series 2015. Number 16 was Jack Swagger when he cashed in on Chris Jericho on an episode of SmackDown in 2010. Number 15 was when John Cena failed his cash-in and when he had his match on Raw 1000 against CM Punk in 2012. Number 14 was when Kane cashed in on Rey Mysterio at Money in the Bank in 2010. Number 13 was when Randy Orton when Miz cashed in on Randy Orton on an episode of Raw in 2010. Number 12 was when Carmella cashed in on Charlotte on the SmackDown Live at WrestleMania 34. Number 11 is when Alberto Del Rio cashed in at SummerSlam 2011 on CM Punk. Number 10 was when Punk cashed in on Edge on Raw in 2008. Number 9 was when Edge cashed in on Undertaker on SmackDown in 2007. Number 8 was when Daniel Bryan cashed in on The Big Show at TLC 2011. Number 7 is when CM Punk cashed in on Jeff Hardy at Extreme Rules in 2009. Number 6 is when Dean Ambrose, wearing a shirt, cashed in on Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank 2016, the night when all three members of the Shield held the title. Number 5 was when RVD cashed in at ECW One Night Stand in 2006 against John Cena. Number 4 is when Edge cashed in on John Cena after the Elimination Chamber match at New Year's Resolution in 2006. Number 3 is when Randy Orton cashes in at SummerSlam 2013 when Triple H turned on Daniel Bryan. Number 2 is when Dolph Ziggler cashed in on Alberto Del Rio on Raw after WrestleMania 29. And number 1 is when Seth Rollins cashed in at WrestleMania 31 on Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns in the main event. That is a really good ranking, I believe, for my list. I would be interested to hear, what your guys' list is as well. If you want to do all 19s, want to tell me your worst and the best, go for that as well. But thank you, of course, to Dakota, Hassan, Robbie, Lauren, all for joining me in the live chat. But let's check the live chat one more time before we go off the air. Let me see here. That was a great cash, and I can see why it's your number 1. It was WrestleMania. Seth said his new match complication that he found out about him cashing in the night of WrestleMania 31. Wow, I got to see that. The reason they went with Seth at WrestleMania 31 is because Triple H said Roman was still a little green in the ring and Rollins was WWE material. Good for him. I wish the camera hadn't died so I could record. His camera died when he could record the reaction to Rollins cashing in. Man, that really sucks. You know, the last person to pin Brock for WWE title was Eddie Guerrero. Yes, I did know that. And that was at No Way Out. I remember that. Rollins is now the top guy, not Roman. And Triple H eyes definitely. Are you doing the best ones now? I was on the best. Rollins was the best cash-in, definitely. And a thing for Roman referred to Triple H as just H. And Triple H wasn't mad about it at all. And it shows how close those two are, pretty much. Those were her top 3 as well. His top 10 Money in the Bank match, I had that one written down. Too bad Ziggler's didn't go nowhere. I know exactly when is your next top 10. Probably next Thursday again. I'll probably do something for like Money in the Bank also again for the next top 10 as well next Thursday. I'm not sure what I'll do. Maybe I'll do Money in the Bank matches, or maybe I'll do like something else like, top 10 people who I would like to see be Money in the Bank, and maybe top 10 who should have been Money in the Bank that aren't around anymore, something along those lines. Like maybe I'll do something like that next week, but something involved Money in the Bank. Because I will be doing the top 10 topics show for June of 2018 next week, which is pretty much, again, my preview for Money in the Bank. But again, it's not live because I want to be able to use my fancy graphics and what in it. But I will be doing my next top 10 live stream next Thursday as well. So you were asking about that, Lauren. Sweet dreams stream. Love you guys. See you next time. I'll see you next time, Lauren. Your next top 10 could be heel turns where Ciampa and Gargano is next Saturday. I mean, it could be again, but I wanted to focus in on Money in the Bank since that pay-per-view is coming up. But I definitely think, I feel like I may have already done a top 10 face or heel turns. I'm not too sure. I have to check again, see what streams I've done so far. I might just make a playlist for my special streams. That way I know which ones I've already done. That way I don't repeat myself again. I mean, it doesn't hurt to update, here and there of our different lists, but, probably in a couple of years, I'd say I would do that if, of course, I'm still around here on YouTube, which, I'd like to be if I'm able to, but hopefully in a few years, I'll have a more steady job, I'll have a family, and yeah, hopefully I'll be up on the totem pole a little bit higher than I am right now. I mean, again, not bad right now, but I want to be higher up. But yes, again, Dakota, Robbie, Lauren, Robbie, thank you guys again for joining in live. Hassan, if I didn't say you already, I'm ready for Money in the Bank and Takeover. So am I. Can't wait for that Johnny Gargano t-shirt to arrive. I still can't believe Johnny liked my tweet. I'm so happy with that happened last night. Thank you, Johnny. But of course, also, since he was in the live chat, I think he already went away, but to my good friend Robbie, as always, who does great fantasy booking videos. He is destined to be in the WWE as a writer to outdo Vince, Road Dogg, Kevin freaking Bucktooth Dunn, and any of those other crap heads who sit behind the table and write these awful segments that we are getting these days. But Robbie can do so much better. He's destined to be in WWE. Check out his channel. If you love what Robbie's booking ideas are, please get hashtag please sign Robbie trending on Twitter, and also hashtag promote Tyson Kidd as well for doing a great job he did writing the match between Seth Rollins and The Miz. But guys, what would you rank all the Money in the Bank cash-ins? What are the best ones in your opinion? What are the worst ones in your opinion? Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below as always. Be sure to click buy, like, and subscribe if we're to come to this channel. And follow me on Twitter as well at TheManAirboy93. I will see you guys in my next video. I'm probably going to maybe do some more of my Let's Plays for Castle. But Patches a Hole and Two Fools Night because I haven't played that game in a while. And so I definitely want to get the ball rolling on that. Check out my review for SummerSlam 1999. Also, I posted that today, and my rant about Road Dogg writing for Raw now. So, guys, I am checking out. Thanks again for always tuning in. You guys are awesome. Until then, guys, I'm checking out. Peace out. Have a good night. See you all later.